Welcome to Concerned Lelanders Grade 756 Podcast with Robert Earl Ewing. Today, this podcast is based on the school district and, of course, the school board. However, before I get started with the podcast, which is going to be based on transparency and accountability, we need to know what's going on, what's being decided, and we need to know or make sure that the school board and the school district are doing what they say they're going to do. So anyway, before I get started, I'd like to send a shout out to E-Town Blues Lounge, located in Elizabeth, Mississippi, or formerly known as Elizabeth, Mississippi. Now it's Leland, Mississippi, 98 Elizabeth Road. Looking for a good time and want to enjoy yourself, want a nice little Southern soul, good music, something to drink, watch some TV, some sports, or just play pool, or just get away for the moment. Stop by E-Town Blues Lounge and check it out. Of course, you're on Highway 82 going east or west, passing through Greenwood. And you get the munchies, got the hungry spells kicking in. Stop by the venue by the trail. Located 401 West Johnson Street, Greenwood, Mississippi, behind Davis School. Give them a call at 662-374-5121. Find out what's going on, operation hour, and what's on the menu for the day. And last but not least, I have to give a shout out to my brothers, my frat brother, Beta Alpha Alpha, Omega Size Phi fraternity, located in Pomona, California. We're getting ready to do our annual golf tournament. It'll be October 29th, 2023. I don't know if most of you guys not here in California can't get there, but I'm quite sure you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that may be in California. But if not, you can always sponsor the hole, donate, or whatever the case may be. For more detail on the golf tournament, call 310-925-2140 or email to omegagolf1911@gmail.com. Again, the telephone number is 310-925-2140 or omegagolf1911@gmail.com. So now, let's get to the topic for today. Yes, the topic for today is Leland School District, or the focus is Leland School District, and we know if we're going to talk about the central office, we're going to start from there. But however, the central office located 408 East 4th Street, Leland, Mississippi, which is reported on the website. And I've asked the superintendent to provide me information based on what I'm talking about right now. Still waiting on that response. However, I went online to the Department of Education at NCS, and got a lot of information that based on the 2019 and 2020 school year. Things do change each and every year, we know that. So if the school board or the school district decides to see me information I requested, then most likely I'll be able to update it, and I have no problem updating information once I receive the most current information. Right now I'm going based on the 2020, 2019 information. Got off the website. As you see at the bottom there, Leland School District, LelandSchoolingSites.com. We're going to focus on transparency and accountability. We need to know what is being done and what they're telling us is correct, and are they doing what they say they're going to do. Plain and simple. Let us know what you say you're going to do, and let us know are you doing what you say you're going to do. We need to know what's going on, because as you can see, the future starts with our kids. The future generation is our kids. The future generation of leadership is our kids. So if we don't take care of them now, who's going to take care of them later? If we don't prepare them now for the life after high school, who's going to do it for us? Again, the future starts here, our children, right? So I went to the website for the school district, and I found a lot of information. Don't get me wrong, the information is a very informative website, lots of current information. However, we're missing some stuff, like the current status of remodeling the school and the status of the stadium. I mean, I'm quite sure some people are in the loop, they understand what's going on, they need to know. However, there's people out there who really want to know, who really took part in the tax referendum campaigning, stuff like that. So we know, hey, why not release information so we can see what's going on a current basis? Don't put it on your personal page. Don't send out on your personal social media, because a lot of us are not your friends. And that's by choice. It's not that we are not your friends because we don't want to be your friends. We're not your friends because you have chosen to block us, you have chosen to unfriend us, whatever the case may be. So a social media page with dealing with the school board, school district is more amenable, because now the personal stuff is taken out. You have to worry about this and that. You like me, you don't like me. I'm trying to make you look bad, humble, because I'm calling you out. If the person's calling you out, man up. Step to the platform and dispute it with data, with verifiable data. Don't go back and make it emotional. It's not personal. Just want to know what's going on. That's all. So if you're wondering who are the guiding force on the school board, most of us already know that. Some of us that live out of town, out of the area, but still have an interest in Leland, Mississippi. Then here you go. The board president is Brandon Taylor. He's out of district number 3. The vice president is Ms. Wright. She's out of district number 4. Ms. Joanne Williams is a board secretary, coming out of district number 1. You got Ms. Murray, board member out of district number 2. You got Dr. Kim, board member out of district number 5. And of course you got the board attorney, Ms. Ashley Harris. So these are the people that make up the board. And they all represent one part of the, other than the district attorney, all these individuals I just listed, the remaining individuals I listed, represent one of these districts. Now, mind you, I did some investigative work, I did some research, called people and stuff, and I found that there's a few people, there's some students that come to school outside of those districts. So we got to figure out, how do we represent those parents, those families, those kids that do not live in the district? Who are they for us? I know some time ago, I'm quite sure throughout the process, there was a representative called at-large representative who deal with, is a voice, the voting rights representative for those individuals who live outside our district. However, we don't have that here. So I truly believe that maybe it's out there, I just don't see it, I just don't understand how they are represented. So maybe somebody on the board can educate me, enlighten me, reach out, let me know, how do you speak, how do you take into consideration input for those individuals outside the district. Again, like I said, the online website has lots of information. Talk about all the different schools. You know, there's 5 schools within the school district. Right? Yeah, 5 different schools. High school, middle school, elementary school, the Voc Tech, as we usually call it, and then the initial learning, I guess, pre-K. Like that. So anyway, those are the 5 aspects. And all of those schools, well, I know the school, high school, middle school, elementary school are rated on the state level. And so you got to keep in mind, though, you know, a lot of things take place on how we perform in the school district. You know, how much money we get. The enrollment is one thing. Enrollment drives the trend of how much money you get per student. However, staying existent, staying viable, is based on your assessment, how you rank amongst the state standard, testing standard, assessment standard. And we're going to go through it in a brief moment. But again, back to the online information, you can find all kinds of stuff. Student information, parent information, job opportunities. You know, you get a lot of stuff. You even get the new grading scale. Take a look at that. I'm not going to go ahead and bash the grading scale because, you know, things changing. You know, back in the days, compared to nowadays. Anyway, they have the monthly meeting. They announce the meetings on the website, but they don't have the minutes. Or I couldn't find the minutes of the meeting. Now, I can find the topics of discussion on special call meetings, but I couldn't find the topic of discussion on regular meetings, nor could I find the discussion results that took place at those type of meetings. However, I did find some highlights and certain things that's very alarming, which I'll talk about in the wrap-up as we go along. But again, if you really want to learn about the school districts, what's going on, or what should be going on, just go to the website and that talks about the stuff that should be going on. The question becomes, hold them accountable, are you actually doing what you say you're going to do? And you'll see that in the budget as well. Now here are the staff up under the superintendent, or in the superintendent office class. You got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got 12 people to include the superintendent in one office that oversee the operation of the school district. You know? Again, and that means that comes to the fact that we got 145 full-time employees, Of the 145 full-time employees, 64 are teachers and 81 are support staff. Now keep that in mind now as you go through the number. 145 full-time employees that run the school district, based on the research, is anywhere from 675 students to 775 students, 776 students. 3 different reports have the range kind of way off, about 95, 100 people, 100 students. But the bottom line is, remember, the budget is driven by the number of students enrolled. Okay? Leland School District fall within Washington County metro area, which have 4 schools, 4 districts in that area. Leland School District, of course, Greenville Public School, Hollandale School District, and of course, Western Line School District. These are the 4 schools district within the Washington metro area. What I'm going to go ahead and focus on the Leland School District mainly because I am a concerned Lelander, and my focus on 3756. However, I'm going to use urban school district, including private school, to show some comparison, some of cost per students, population, stuff like that. That's a change that's going to come. So now, let's look at the Leland School District performance assessment. No, the state rates it at 10, no, 0 to 10, right? 1 to 10, I just don't say 0 to 10. If you look at Leland High School, get a 4 out of 10. Now, mind you, each school that's rated within the Leland School District all below the 50th percentile, right? Now, LSP is 2 out of 10, and elementary school, South Elementary School is 1 out of 10. Now, I couldn't find anything on the career in Texas, which is called BOJAC. However, of those 3, we are in the low 50th percentile. Now, if you go back and look at the Department of Education statistics, it shows that we're Leland School District running around at 5th percentile for math and 15th percentile for language and language art, right? So that goes to show you, we're pretty good. Now, it says on the state website or the state info is that there has been some improvement in the Leland School District. And I'm saying now, there are some individuals, there's a few kids that are doing outstanding. Don't get me wrong. There are some kids doing outstanding. But we're talking about the 775, not the 9, 10, 11, 12 that are doing extremely well. We just got to figure out, we have to make sure that the school district is reaching out and representing the masses, not the select few. So when we look at the breakdown for the budget, this is how the budget is driven. The budget is driven by population, enrollment, right? So you look at Leland School District, have 776 students. Like I said before, there's a report anywhere from 673 to 776. So I took the highest one, 776, right? The report is over $18,000 per student. That's the cost that Leland School District need to meet their budget, which we'll go into in a few minutes. And you look at the comparison, Greenville School District, Hollandale School District enrollment plus the cost per student, and you see Leland has the highest cost per student in the metro school area, and the second lowest in enrollment. Now, you look at the private schools around the area, Washington Schools, St. Joseph, and Enola, and Greenville. You can see they range anywhere from $5,600 per student, cost per student, to what, $6,700, $800 cost per student. A huge difference from what Leland is being charged, or any of the public schools. That's amazing. Private school cost per student is less than any of the public schools out there, right? Now you go look at enrollment in Leland 1776. No, a little while back, it was a lot more than that. Compared to the last 2 census, there was a decrease in population of Leland, Mississippi at 20%. 20% of the population of Leland. At one time, I think when I was in Leland, the population right around 4,500. You believe it or not, the population rate right now is like 3,800 right now, and it's still dropping. The majority of the population, 18 and above, 2/3 of the population falls into the 18 and above category, which means people out of school. They're past school age, right? 18 and above. So it's very few of our kids are still in school. So right now, like I said, go from 673 to 776. Hopefully the school board or the superintendent will actually provide me a line item budget, and so I can go back and look at it line for line where the money is coming from and where it's going to go into. I'm going to go into a little bit of the school budget, as we move along. But right now, that's information being requested so we can get a better understanding. But if we look at the Leland School District compared to other schools in the metro area in the state, Leland's ranked number 1 of 4 schools district in Washington County metro area. That's with the Hollandale, Greenville, Western Line, and Leland. Those 4, Leland's ranked number 1. However, Leland School District is ranked 130 out of 148 school districts in the state of Mississippi. Now, mind you, just a year ago, the state had 151 school districts. In the last 10 years, the state has been working diligently to put up a compromise to reduce their school district by 75 schools district, and to come in alignment with the school districts, other states around the area, the Florida, the Georgia, the Alabama, the Arkansas, the Louisiana. No, Mississippi, the state of Mississippi has about 75 school districts more than surrounding state. So they've been working diligently for the last 10 years trying to find a way to reduce the school district. Now remember I said before, the way you look at that is how do you look at it? The costs, the enrollment, the performance. All these are driven forces on whether or not that a school is viable to be saved, or to be school district viable to be saved, or to be merged, or to be done away with. In this school district, 96% minority enrollment, and the school is pushing, high school pushing 90% graduation rate. And there are 64 teachers for the enrollment of the school. Now, mind you, I said the enrollment anywhere from 673 to 776. So we're going to keep it 776. There's 12-to-1 ratio of students per teacher. 12-to-1 ratio of student per teacher. Remember, that's 64 teachers, 145 full-time employment, 81 of that 145 are support staff, 64 are teaching. Do the math. So let's talk about the budget for a second. I'm going to pause this for a second so you can take a look at it. And the main thing is the one in bold. The money that comes in, $12.5 million. The money that goes out, $11.9 million. That's a difference there, right? Where's that money? Where's that money used for? How can we account for it? Accountability, right? Transparency, accountability. So I've asked the school board, I asked the superintendent to provide me a line-by-line item of the budget so we can see line by line what's coming in, what's going out. But the key element I want you to look at right here is the amount of money coming in, 12.5. 57% of our budget, our school district budget, come from the state and federal government. 57% of the school budget comes from the state and federal government. We, as the people, the rest of Leland, Mississippi, spend about 42% of our taxpaying dollars to support the school. 42%, just the school alone. Now we're not talking about a budget to operate the city of Leland. We just talking about a budget, the amount of money we spend to operate the school board, the school district. Right? 42% of the budget of the school district comes from our taxes. Yes, I said our taxes because A, I still registered to vote in Leland. I'm a business person in Leland. I own property in Leland, Mississippi. And yes, so therefore it's a we thing. And I'm very concerned about Leland. If you look at the expenses, right, $4.7 million go to instruction, $1.5 million go to staff and student support, $1.4 million go to administration, and $4 million go to operation, food service, and office. And then we got that miscellaneous, we got that bucket that the money falls into of other things, coming up to $677,000. The question becomes, we only can know what all these things equate to when we get a line-by-line item. How much are teacher salaries, how much are principal, how much is staff, how much is superintendent, how much is superintendent staff for 12 people. You know, how all this money be divvied out. Then we get to how much insurance we pay, how much the pension, all that stuff. You know, how much we pay on loans that we may have gotten, and stuff like that. It's a lot goes into a budget aspect. Now, some of you guys already know that. I'm just highlighting some things that I know based on my research and based on my several decades dealing with budgeting, dealing with leadership, and dealing with people, especially people wearing the uniform to protect this great nation. So, the issue I came with this year, what I just went over, is the annual budget. Now, I can only go by what I got off online from the Department of Education of the state of Mississippi, and I have requested to the superintendent a more detailed budget. I'm going to send in a Freedom of Information Act request as of 30 September, so I can put it together, so I can submit it to the school board and the school district superintendent and try to get some response back. Another thing we need to look at that brought to my attention was, again, our school district could be one of those target one of being to be merged or reduced or affected because our enrollment is down, our cost per student is way up the ladder per state, based on the state, and our performance is low. National performance is low, assessment is low. So those three things drive a decision on whether or not it's viable to keep us going, whether we need to move people around to put in a better position. The school district is consistently underfunded by the state and federal government by $6.5 million since 2008. So the money's they're being underfunded, which means that money has come from somewhere. And this is what we see the tax referendum that came up in 2019, which I'll be talking about briefly. But right now, I'll be talking about next. But right now, we're looking at the issue we got from the slides I just presented. And of course, a fair and balanced representation for each district and the kids outside, or the families outside of the district, who are going to represent them at the board meetings, who are going to speak on their behalf. Because the issues they're dealing with, not always the same issue dealing with 1 through 5 district, right? So here we go. Let's talk about the school board for a second on the bond. In 2019, September 2019 to be exact, there was a tax bond put on election bond for $8.7 million. Didn't make it. Didn't make it. And I know I said that my past podcast or previous podcast is talking about your vote matters, right? And I'm quite sure people realize, well, my vote doesn't matter. My vote doesn't count. My vote doesn't count. This tax referendum didn't pass by 14 votes. 14 votes was missing in order to make it reach the 60%. As a state policy is, a state statute is, that anytime a tax bond comes up, a tax referendum comes up, 60% of the people voting have to either vote yay in order for it to pass. Well, of course, that 60% vote nay, it's not going to pass, right? But in order for it to get it passed, it had to be yay. So anyway, we missed about 14 votes, which means that it has to come up again for another vote, right, in November. However, in order for it to be able to get ready for that November 2019 vote, it had to be trimmed. Some stuff had to be removed from the 8.75. So you got down to 6.9. That's almost a $2 million cut on some things that we needed to bring the school up to par, or bring the schools up to par, right? What was that cut? What was taken out of the budget so that we can meet the requirement, or whoever was negotiating this at the time? Of course, it did pass at 63%, but it passed with a remover or key items that was needed in the original tax bond, right? What are those things? Why are we not being told what was cut? Why are we not being kept abreast of what's going on? We know that pandemic affected the school from 2020 to 2021. Basically, kids were at school doing home student, right? Why did we have the school being remodeled at that time? I just went on the website and saw that they're still deciding, they're still having meetings and voting as of January, March, and June on approving designs for the remodel, on approving construction, stuff like that, remodeling project. Why are we in 2023 still trying to make a decision based on stuff that we should have done already in 2019 when we came to the platform and said we need $8.75 million to do this, and this. Now we're still in 2023 when kids are back in school trying to decide how we're going to get things done. Totally unacceptable for leadership. Totally unacceptable. Now, I could be wrong. The school could be totally complete, the football field could be totally complete, and I could be way out in left field. All I ask, prove me wrong. I'd be more than happy to come back online and say, yeah, I was wrong on this, and this. Here's an updated information. But you got to give me the information in order for me to be convinced that I'm wrong. We have no idea how the current status. I mean, some of you guys, I should say we, some people may know the current status of the remodeling and the current status of the football field, the stadium. Maybe so. I don't know. And I'm doing a podcast asking for information from the school board and the school district to help me understand where we are today, right now. Now, this is one of the issues that came up that I saw on the Facebook page, which I did comment on it, asking what was the criteria for this voting aspect for naming rights. Who voted? How did the candidate get selected? Humble. Now, I went through all this here. Now, some of the people I know, some people I don't know. So I did my diligent research when we were asking people and everything. The cafeteria named after Miss Holmes. Okay. Got no problem with that. The football stadium named after Johnny Cook. Got no problem with that. Johnny Cook, an outstanding representation of Mississippi. Went on, did a great job at Mississippi State. And then went on to be playing the NFL. And won a Super Bowl. Like number 2 in his draft class. That's awesome. It'll be a long time. I'm probably sure it'll be a long time before we can get something like that for the price. Not that it won't happen. It could happen, but it's a long way coming from leaving high school to NFL, especially the number 2 overall draft. So I got no problem with that. Antonio Johnson, being they had the field house named after him, spoke to his mother-in-law, my ride and die friend. She shared with me some of the things he has done and stuff like that. Got no problem with that. Guy did an awesome job for the school. Understand that. My issue came up, well, not my issue. My concern came up with how did you rate the naming of the football field? That's a high honor, right? Now, mind you, Coach Jackson, I didn't make this person. It's strictly on data, strictly on fact. Coach Jackson is a member of my family. Love the death. Love the guy to death. Great, outstanding individual. Great person. Now, we talking about, not about my personal feeling about him, but the status on what determined for him to be named, football field to be named after him. So I went back and read the Facebook posting where it said that it was based on his district championship winning, his other defense, his no nonsense on the football field, how he put fear into the hearts of the opponents. That's okay. That sounds good. Let me research that, right? So I did my due diligence. I did my research. Since Leland High School, the football team, Leland School has been in existence since 1925. 100 years. And that 100 years, there have been 27 head coaches. Of that 27 head coach, I took the board vote right, which was Coach Jackson, and I took his criteria. 4 years. Coach Jackson coached for 4 years. So what I did, is that I took those 4 years, and everyone who coached less than 4 years took my place, didn't make the cut. I went with the 4 years of the line for Coach Jackson. At that time, we had basically 10 coaches, right? So I decided, okay, stellar defense. So I went to the stellar defense. Championships, I took the championship aspect. So I took Coach Jackson as the baseline, 4 years. So let's look at Coach Jackson from 1994 to 1988. Coach Jackson was the coach of Leland High School football team, 1994, 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998. 4 years, right? During that time frame, he was 30 wins, 25 losses, and 1 tie. He scored 958 points. His team scored 958 points. His opponent scored 837. That's what, 118, 119, give or take, blah, 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 blah. 100 something, 118 games, points different. He went to the playoff 1 time, lost 20 to 23. His district opponent face to face, he faces a district opponent 31 times. He won 18, lost 13. The score was he got 553 points, his opponent scored 462 points. So this right there is considered the baseline for stellar defense, baseline for championships, and the baseline for win-loss ratio, making Coach Jackson the recommended coach for the football field that we named after, based on that data, right? So I went to Coach Sanders, because I like to say I based on the district championship, right? The win-loss and stellar defense. So the 3 coaches that I came up with the comparison was Coach Jackson, Coach Hardy, and Coach Sanders. Remember, I cut off about 4 years, right? Now, remind you, Coach Hardy coached twice, from 1987 to 1993, and came back after Coach Jackson, 1989 for 1 year. But that 1 year doesn't count because we did what? We cut off at 4 years, right? So, let's look at Coach Sanders' record. From 2000 to 2013, Coach Sanders' record was 84, 73, and 2. Had 3,135 points. He made 2,628 points were scored against him. In the playoff, he was a record 6 and 8. He scored 207 points in the playoff, and the opponent scored 288. His district rivals, he had 73 games. He won 41, they won 32. He scored against the district 1,613 points. His district rivals scored 1,109 points. Again, that's about 500 points different, right? So you would think, based on that right now, the district playoff was 6 and 8. Coach Jackson was 0 and 1. His district records were 41-33. Coach Jackson 18-13. So automatically, based on that, not kind of like the district championship, just based on that data alone, Coach Standard record will be what? Rather than Coach Jackson. Let's go a little bit further. Coach Hardy was there for 6 years, 1987, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. In that 6 years, his record was 59 wins, 25 losses. He scored 1,857 points. His opponent only scored 989. 989, right? He was a 7 and 7, 241 points he scored. His opponent had 206 points. The district record he had for 6 years, his rival district face-to-face, in 6 years, he only lost 1 game. 6 years. Of the 29 games he played against his district rival, in 6 years, he only lost 1. With a score of 741 points to 169. That's stellar defense right there. Now let's go a little bit further. We're not talking championship, right? We're talking the data of stellar defense, regular season records. So that alone will push Coach Hardy above Coach Jackson and above Coach Sander, right? Although Coach Sander has twice as many years at the helm, Coach Hardy 28-1 in the district face-to-face against Coach Hardy 41-36. By percentage alone, 99% will be much more than what? 60%, 70%, something like that? All right, let's go to the district championship. Leland High School has 8 championships. 1987, 1988, 1989, 1990, 1991, 1992, 2004, and 2008. When was Coach Jackson the coach? 1994, 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998. Do you see a championship in that aspect? No. Coach Sanders from 2000 2013 brought 2 championships, 2004 and 2008. He brought 2 district championships to Leland, back to Leland. Coach Hardy was coach from 1987 to 1983, brought 6 championships straight. 6 straight district championships. Never lost a championship in 6 years. 6 years undefeated in the district championship. And you can say Coach Jackson is the one that the school feels to be named after. When Coach Hardy only lost 1 game as a district rival in 6 years, brought home 6 championships straight. Wow. I'm just leaving it to you right now. I'm going to step back and let y'all look at this here. 27 coaches in 100 years. 6 championships since 1987. 8 championships since 1987, my bad. 6 won by Coach Hardy. The issue with the last few slides of show is of course, a budget. Now, their tax referendum went from 8.75 to 6.9. What was cut? How will we make up that difference? How are those differences going to affect us, affect our kids? What's the current status of the remodeling in the stadium? And you do know that the Mississippi legislature is working diligently to reduce the school district. You know that, I know that. And they're based on what they've been doing for the last 10 years, but based on performance, assessment, cost per student, enrollment. And I just said to you, based on the last 2 census, Leland, Mississippi has population has dropped 20%. School enrollment has gone from 900 plus to 775 by one report, 673 by another report. That's a huge drop. The population of Mississippi, 2/3 of the population of Mississippi is over 18 and above. That's a small number of kids that are there to go to school right now. How are we going to maintain? We got the money for this tax, from the tax bond. How are we going to use it? how we're going to maintain day-to-day operation since 2008, Leland School District has been underfunded over $6 million, which tell us either we're going to have to raise our taxes again, we can't request another tax bond. Right, because the state is not giving more money. State and the federal government have not funded the school appropriately since 2008. So can you think of just starting out doing it when they're trying to do a cut on the school districts? Again, there are some ideas, some recommendations we can do to help out. I sent in a recommendation on football season tickets to help the day-to-day maintenance of the football stadium. Waiting on a response from the superintendent. Definitely need to know the status of the remodeling stadium aspect. I highly recommend that the school board and the school district have a social media page that we can join and we can keep abreast of what's going on. We can submit issues, we can submit ideas, we can submit discussion, we can do topics and allow them to respond based on the district, and based on the board, and based on the superintendent office. And of course, when you're doing name recognition of anything, you really need to reach out to the people which you represent and have them have their input. You might not accept the input, but at least let them feel like as though they have some input. You know, the nomination, voting criteria, selection criteria, all that stuff. So just do your due diligence. You said that if you get elected on the school board, you're going to represent that district, the people in that district. But how are you going to represent them if you don't take the time to listen to what they have to say? So, that's a lot of information I covered. I do want to say that I'm very proud of Leland. I'm from Leland, Mississippi. My heart is always there. And who knows what may happen in the next few years. You may see me around the corner on a regular basis. The bottom line of it is, we don't need to wait for that moment to occur. We need to take the bull by the horn right now and work on our school district and our future generation, our kids, our future leaders. Because if we don't speak for them, we don't represent them, we don't take care of them now, who will? If you got an issue you want to talk about, if you got information you want to challenge to help me update what I have already, there's my email address, robert@allwedoing.com. My telephone number is 909-912-0399. You can see me on YouTube channel. You can see me on Facebook, Concerned Leader 3756. I'm not hard to find. You can reach out to me and let me know, hey, this is what I'm missing out on. This is what we need to do. This is how I stand. Or you can just call and tell me, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedule to review these slides or watch this podcast. Again, if you miss it, you want to find out more detail, maybe on YouTube, maybe on social media, maybe on Facebook group page, Concerned Leaders 3756. Looking forward to talking to you again on a future topic. The next topic I'm bringing up will be the Leland, Mississippi, the city budget. No, I won't get it from the city. I'm going to get it straight from the department, the State Department, which they have to respond to annually. I maybe go in line by line and talk about where the money is coming from, where the money is going to, and what our tax dollars get spent on. So, look forward to it. Share that with you all in the near future. But in the meantime, stay on the school board, stay on the school district, ask those hard questions, make sure they stay transparent, and make sure they stay accountable. Thank you all. Have a nice day.